This easily has to be one of my favorite episodes of Star Wars live action ever. G'day there, my name is Hannah, and this is my review and breakdown of episode 3 of Ahsoka. This whole opening sequence is absolutely perfection. My goodness, the details in this, training sequence that they have, it's very simple, it's very basic, but so much is said in this scene. Jedi to me have always been a melding of this kind of Western cowboy with this Japanese samurai, and in this scene, we very much get that samurai feel. I really love Jedi training scenes regardless, but this one was super cool to see how Ahsoka does her training. Huyang was such a cool element in this training sequence, and he really is a level up than the training probe that Luke has to have on the Millennium Falcon. This sequence also really touches on this big question we've all been having is Sabine Force sensitive? We kind of are discovering that she really isn't, but what Ahsoka is trying to get across to her, but also us, the audience, is that everything really does have midichlorians, everything has the Force residing in them. It really comes down to the talent that can exercise that. But regardless of all that, because the Force is in everything, it's all down to determination and focus and discipline that can create a really good Jedi. And I think Ahsoka kind of uses the word Jedi here in more of like a moral sense of being someone that is very strong in their mind. There's so much depth and exploration here in this dialogue between them, and Huyang was like a really good kind of voice in this as well. I really love this scene. This then jumps us to another fantastic scene of Hera on the ship speaking to Mon Mothma and the Senate Council? I forget what they're called, but the group of senators there talking about, going on this trip to find Thrawn, to find Ezra, and Hera's trying to make a point that this is still an issue. And of course, classic Star Wars politics, it isn't perfect. It would be a little bit weird if straight after the Empire, all the politics here were perfect. So it makes sense that there's different voices in this scene. This whole conversation gave me very much Star Wars Clone Wars vibes, where we would have like a senator or Senate like focused episode. We're usually around like Padme or even like Satine or Mandalore, or there's just been a couple episodes all throughout the Clone Wars series where we would have different senators be murdered or assassinated and would have to figure out who did it, and there would be different voices and opinions coming from different systems and worlds. This really felt like that. I got that Clone Wars kind of Senate energy from this, which I'm a big fan of. A great scene and a great reveal at the end of Jason Syndulla coming in. He looks perfect. I think he looks so cute. He looks exactly like a Kanan and Hera mix between. I'm so glad he's in this show. I don't think he will be in it much, but I love the little note of I want to be a Jedi too. I think that's so sweet, and it was very genuine. It wasn't kind of cringy to me. I think this was like a really sweet moment. And also, just on this whole sequence as well, Hera looks incredible. Mary does an incredible job with this scene. The acting, the look of her, perfect. From here on, we just get this Clone Wars action-packed adventure sequence. In this episode, it does a great thing, and this is what I think was the success of the Clone Wars. In such a short time, this episode was only like half an hour, if that. Such incredible exposition and character development happens in this episode. In the intensity of a firefight of Marok and Shin coming in with those extra fighters trying to take down Ahsoka's ship, Ahsoka and Sabine are really challenged and pinned against each other. There's tension there. They're not really understanding what each other needs. And I love the fact that Huyang's the one that has this kind of voice, and he says that really dramatic thing of we're all gonna die if you two don't figure out how to communicate. And we have that fantastic moment where with Ahsoka just has that moment and takes a breath and realizes that she does need to reach out to Sabine for this to work and for them to work together. And she does, and she's saying, Sabine, what do you need? And what a great little just note. I love this little kind of pause we have in this intense kind of battle scene. Then my absolute highlight and favorite thing from this episode is, of course, the ever so Clone Wars styled Ahsoka getting her spacesuit on and getting on the outside of the ship to stand there with her sabers and take the ships down herself and defend them from the blaster bolts. This is so perfectly outlandishly outer space randomness that Anakin would do, and they have done. We have seen this in the Clone Wars, and I loved it. I think this really put me in the world of Star Wars, that this is so radical. This is not just kind of a space western. This is nuanced. This is Star Wars specifically. And on this, I have to say, one of my biggest positives from this show so far is how incredible the visual effects are. My word, do I feel like I'm in Star Wars. With the previous live action shows, I've really had to convince myself that that is the planet, that is the ship. And, that is the space battle. But in this show, I do not have to convince myself at all. It is perfect. Everything looks so crisp, so clean. Nothing looks kind of janky or kind of forced. Everything is so smooth looking and so believable to me. I'm really in the world, or, in this ship or in the space that they're trying to convey to us. This battle then leading us onto the planet where we meet the Purgle. Oh my goodness. And it is a great line that Sabine delivers where she says, she's kind of taking a moment after seeing the Purgle and saying that, the last time she saw these space whales, the last time she saw the Purgle, it was the last time she saw Ezra. And it was only after the fact that I realized, damn, that's us too. The last time we saw the Purgle, we saw them in Mando, but go with me. The last time we really saw the Purgle was when we last saw Ezra as well. So I thought that was really a nice, kind of just a little emotional moment, and very true. The ending of this episode, of course, looks like next episode we're going to get some cool lightsaber fights, seeming as Baylan is going to get his crew together and go find Sabine and Ahsoka, which I am so excited to see more of him. Overall, this episode is just so crisp, so clean. I'm a massive Star Wars fan, so my heart is full because this felt like we just took a Clone Wars episode and made it live action. It had some really great action sequences. We've had a lot of space battles in Star Wars, but this didn't feel like just another one. It was really interesting, had different maneuvers, different strategies to it, which made it really interesting. But with all that adventure and action, we had really important character moments. We had Ahsoka really kind of delve into the meaning of the Force and connecting with Sabine about it. And we had them kind of reconcile a little bit of their character kind of differences. Then we had the very interesting conversations with Hera and the Senate Council of Senators. I don't know I keep forgetting what they're called. But that group and Mon Mothma, I really hope we see more Mon Mothma in this show. I give it a 9.5 out of 10. I'm leaving that a little bit of room because I feel like there could be a more perfect episode in this show, but this one was just so enjoyable, so fun. I just can't wait to keep rewatching this for days to come and years to come, really. Make sure you let me know down in the comments what you thought of this episode. I would love to know. Don't hold back. Give me all the details of what you think. Make sure you join in live every week as we look back on the past episodes and discuss them, and also look forward to each episodes every week. My name is Hannah, and always choose the race side.